Well, I must say, man, that was a hell of a journey. From the moment when you left Peter, you hopped in that Uber, and you headed up north, up the coastline from Barranquilla, excuse me, from Cartagena to Barranquilla. But you chose to go up the coastline in an Uber. But however, I'm more of a buses, trains, public transportation type of guy. But you also have taken buses a couple times, right? But anyways, I want to share my experience heading up the coastline. So as I said, I haven't been to Barranquilla. I have passed through, and you made some good points, man. You see the ocean, you see the areas that are, to say the least, very very humble looking, and then you come across areas that look very ritzy and look very brand new, like they've only been built just a few years ago. I passed through Barranquilla, and from what I've seen of Barranquilla, it looks like a interesting city. I've seen the window monument, I believe it's called.
It's a fabulous city.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a few sights and sounds of Barranquilla. Like I said, I still have yet to move around that city, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen one day. But anyways, I've been up the coastline myself, and like you said, man, there's a lot of just beautiful sights on the way. And now what I want to do is I want to shine the light on Santa Marta. And when I move around in Santa Marta, I somewhat feel like I'm in Cartagena, because obviously you're still on the coast. They have their historic center city. It resembles the Centro Histórico of Cartagena. Um, they have mountains that are spread out throughout the city. When I went, that was during springtime, so it was dry season. So the mountains, you don't see no trees. Everything's just dead. But when rainy season kicks in, towards the later part of the year, that those mountains are just green and lush. But man, something that stands out beyond a shadow of a doubt, as far as being in Santa Marta goes, is the beaches, man. I must say the beaches are just beautiful. And I know that's a cliche way of putting it, but they're beautiful. And again, like I said, I feel like I'm in Cartagena, but what separates Cartagena and Santa Marta is those mountains. When you throw in those mountains, man, that just adds in just a spectacular background. When you're on the beach in your beach chair, sipping on some beers, looking at the ocean, you see the mountains and the mix of the buildings. And yeah, man, that's definitely something for me that I look at, and I feel like Santa Marta takes it as far as the beaches go.
So it's like a mix of like Medallo and Cartagena.
Yeah, man, yeah, definitely. Like as far as the mountain goes, yes, you have those touches of Medellin. Santa Marta, it's a city that I'm still trying to figure out. My number one city on the coast of Colombia is Cartagena. But from my few times out there in Santa Marta, I have definitely enjoyed getting to know it. I've been out there twice, and I know you're planning on going soon, hopefully in the future. But man, just I can't just express it enough how just amazing those beaches are. You got Rodadero Beach, you got Playa Blanca Beach, not to be confused with Playa Blanca in the island section of Cartagena, and you got the Bahia of Santa Marta. So you really have just different options as far as beach wise goes with Santa Marta. But let's move towards one of your favorite times of the day, the nightlife. The nightlife, man. And so as I'm speaking on Santa Marta, I feel like the nightlife is more smoother. It's not as wild and as intense as a Cartagena. Uh, Something that I definitely did notice in Santa Marta, I guess you could say they cater towards the couples, people who are couples, a romantic type city. They even have one of their famous parks is called Parque de los Novios. And I mean, that's saying something right there. That's saying that that's their number one audience. That's who they're focusing on as far as who they want to attract to that city. So me as a single guy, just looking to drink and mingle and fall into whatever action. Uh, so. But it's up for you to judge. Whomever you are watching this, if you find yourself out in Santa Marta, you can be the judge of that yourself. But from my personal experience, I feel like Santa Marta definitely caters to couples and families as well. Because I was out there earlier this year during Semana Santa, and man, I tell you what, couples, families, families, couples. There wasn't too many singles that I was bumping into out there, you know. But nonetheless, an enjoyable city. But let me move to the nightlife. Al, as I said, it's one of your favorite hours of the day. So, what for you? Is, speaking for the two cities that you've been to, Barranquilla and Cartagena, the nightlife, man. Who are you going with? Why are you going with? Or is it equal? Just let me know, man, and let them know.
So before I get into that, right, I want to piggyback on something that you commented on. You mentioned that, first of all, Colombia is just a divine country. You know, it's a very unique country in South America. I believe in all the Americas. You know, whether it's North, South. You know,
Central.
I think Central, yeah, nothing against Central, but so like Colombia is a gem. It's a gem. You know what I mean? Even with the Caribbean islands, man, like Puerto Rico, DR. I don't know about Cuba. I like that culture. You know, I have yet to go to Cuba, but
Strict though, very. You got to keep
Kirk
that in
Kaz,
mind.
man. Shout out to Kirk Kaz, man. You know
Very
what I mean?
strict, very strict place.
Exposing shit. But you mentioned that Cartagena, number one for you, you favor it, this and that and the third. You know, I see Colombia's so unique, man. It's like for me, I've traveled around Colombia to major cities. Sure, I've been to like little small pueblos between like La Villa del Mar, and I can't favor a city, man. I really can't. I Colombia, man, like it's like those cities to me, Barranquilla, Cartagena, Medellin. It's like having three girlfriends, you know, at the same time. I have to equally love them, you know. Shout out to Big Chris, man, by the way. I'm mentioning Big Chris. Big Chris has 4 girlfriends in Medellin.
Mm.
He equally loves all 4 of them, you know. He showers them with gifts, you know, equally. You know, he doesn't treat one more than the other. And that's how I feel about these cities. You know what I mean? I can't come to a conclusion of, oh, I love this city more than that, because each city has its own enchantment, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, you know. But like, you know, I didn't think I was gonna love Medellin. You're the one who inspired me to go, you know. And now I don't want to say that's my favorite city, but it's a great city. And I equally love Medellin as I love Cartagena, as I love Barranquilla. You know, there's no favoritism, you know, involved. And the beauty about Colombia is like you can love them all at once equally. You know, it's okay. Just like having multiple girlfriends. 3, you can have 3, you can have 4, you can have 5. As long as you can afford it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
And it's funny you bring that up. As far as the affording part, man. Yeah, let's kind of touch on that a little bit. Let's touch on just the cost on what you can expect when you're moving throughout the coastline. Cartagena, man, just to throw it out there for sure, has become expensive over the last few years.
It sure has. Even Medellin, Medellin, man.
Yeah.
Like started going to Medellin, what 2021 was it? And things were cheap. And like now you see it. It's like, wow, Medellin's become expensive, you know. And it's all the passport pros exposing shit on thing, and them just throwing money like it grows on trees and whatever. If you have it, if you got it, spend it. I guess, you know what I mean. But it ruins it for us, the common man. You know what I mean? I consider myself a common man. I'm not rich by any means. You know, I work hard for my money, and to spend it, it's a luxury. You know, it's a treat for me. Others who have it, you know, however they get money and they spend it. These people become accustomed to that. Oh, he's tipping this. He's giving away this. You know, so they expect that out of everybody rocking a flag with 50 stars on them. You know what I mean? Like if you come from the USA, oh no, he instantly has money. He instantly he's got it, so he's got to pay. No, it's not the way it works.
So
it's sad that these people are ruining it, but that's a different topic for different checked-in sessions.
So now, would you say, you move into Barranquilla? Do you feel that Barranquilla has taken a hit?
Hell no, Barranquilla is like, it's like Miami. No, Barranquilla feels like San Juan, Puerto Rico. But way better than San Juan. I'd rather be in Barranquilla than San Juan, bro.
And the cost, just in terms of an Airbnb,
peanuts,
going to a restaurant,
peanuts. There's no beggars. No one's coming up to you asking you for money. And the handful of people that do come and beg for money, you feel like, oh shit, no one's asked me for money all day. Let me hit this person off, And that, I mean, at least for me, like I walk Barranquilla, the streets up and down. No one's harassing me. No one's coming up to me. It's a city. It's a city like Miami, like I said, like San Juan, Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? Or Trujillo Alto. Where, you know what I'm saying? You have these big buildings and it's just beautiful. Rooftop pools and this and that. It's just super affordable. Like everything's just so great about Barranquilla.
So it is definitely safe to say, just moving throughout Barranquilla, as far as financially wise, your pocket's not going to take a hit. That's what you're saying, right?
Not at all, man. The Dunkin' Donuts worker down on Mass Ave can go to Barranquilla and live like a king. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what a person that's actually making a livable wage in the States when he goes to Barranquilla. Barranquilla is an awesome city, man. The food, the flavor, the nightlife, and we kind of deviated from your question with the nightlife. And the nightlife is just awesome, man. Like the women in Barranquilla are, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound controversial, but no offense, I love my Cartageneras, but the women in Barranquilla beat the women in Cartagena out the water. Just the women in Barranquilla take care of themselves. They got their hair done, their nails done. They dress like women. They have these long dresses on, like exposed, and they have beautiful bodies. Like, I don't know, man. It's just,
and that definitely makes the country,
Jesus Christ,
no doubt about it. And we'll get back to that in a second. But I want to just move up to Santa Marta. As far as Santa Marta goes, it's kind of similar to what you're saying. I noticed during my times out in Santa Marta, from the Airbnb to going to an Éxito, and for those of you who don't know, Éxito is Stop and Shop, Target,
with Best Buy. Stop and Shop,
electronics,
Target, and Best Buy, all in one.
Yeah, so when you're moving throughout Santa Marta, I definitely noticed that it's cost friendly. It is definitely cost friendly, and even when you're at the beach, because when you're at the beach, they tend to rack up prices. The vendors, if for those of you who don't know, on the beaches in Colombia, you have a lot of vendors. They're selling water, they're selling beer. Some of them make their own makeshift little ovens, and they're selling hot dogs and sausages.
Putifara.
Yeah, they're selling everything under that hot sun. And even on the beach, the vendors, they don't rack up the prices. But I definitely do feel that Cartagena, the prices are going up.
Oh,
they're going up, as the Airbnbs, even the taxi drivers. And especially if you're not familiar with the city, or if you're a first time visitor, or if they can just read it on you that you don't know how the movement goes out there. I'll put it to you like this: if you are going from the Centro Histórico of Cartagena to the neighborhood of Boca Grande, which is at most 10-minute ride, the most that they should be charging you is 10,000 Colombian pesos, which is equivalent to about $2. During the day, the max price should be 10,000 Colombian pesos. 10,000, that's what should. And if they draw, like you said, 25,000, 30,000 pesos, hey, just pull out, have it in your back pocket ready, pull it out, be like, hey, this is all I got. You take it or leave it. And they'll be like, okay, up in the back.
And don't pull out 100,000 pesos or 50,000 pesos and expect change, because they're gonna tell you, I don't have change.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, wait, what do you mean you don't have change? And they want that tip. They want that $50,000, that $100,000 peso. They're gonna tell you, no, I don't have change.
And it's so
fuck that. I want change.
And it's so convenient too. Like you said, you pull out a 50 meal bill, It's like how convenient they don't have change. So that's just kind of
Don't say we'll stop at a store.
yeah.
We'll get change.
That's just kind of some of their tricks that they have to for you as the tourist to give in and be like, well, okay, just keep it. But no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give in. You work hard for your money, and you don't want to get taken advantage of. And again, 10,000 pesos. Now during the night, it's more different. During the night, and speaking for Cartagena again, the movement is more busy. You have tourists. You have just even the locals. The taxi is in high demand during those hours. So at most 20,000 pesos. The cost throughout those three coastal cities, they're all over the place. But expensive, Cartagena and Barranquilla and Santa Marta are pretty much tied as far as the cost and how much money you're gonna dish out. But anyways, man, I want to move on to something again that I was trying to touch upon. We were all over the place, but that's the checked-in sessions for you. Just much like travel, you're all over the place. So the nightlife, man, between Barranquilla and Cartagena. Just talk to me a little bit about that. What is it? What does the nightlife mean out there for Alex Sanchez, or which city do you lean more towards? Just let me know, man. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So, nightlife, Cartagena, wild. If I had any description for the nightlife in Cartagena, is wild. Cartagena is an absolute zoo. Like, not even a zoo, because the animals in the zoo are like, caged. And it's just wildlife. It's just like being in Africa as an animal, and just being wild. You either gonna get eaten alive, gonna survive through the night, or who knows? It's unpredictable. Nightlife in Cartagena is definitely wild. I got a lot of lady friends who I've had balcony talks with, and if you don't know what a balcony talk is when you get home at like 3 a.m. and you're with your lady friend and y'all on the balcony hearing the sounds of the waves, the ocean, depending on where you're at, and you're just shooting the shit, as we like to say here in Boston, and I've had plenty of talks, and everyone says they've never and these are women who've traveled, who've lived in like Peru, Spain, parts of Europe, in the Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, maybe not Puerto Rico because they'd be in the States by now, but Aruba, and they just say there's no city wilder than Cartagena. It's just a wild city, And Barranquilla, as far as nightlife, it's awesome. It's a great experience. It's not as wild, it's more tamed than Cartagena, but the women and the atmosphere is just astonishing, man. It's just great. It's just wild, man. And it's just like all different types of flavors, from like the darkest of the darkest to like the lightest of the lightest. Like you'll see like, and that's throughout Colombia, man. Like you there's all different types of like breeds of people.
Well, now remember now, because on the coastline, especially Cartagena, on the coastline, as far as the ancestry goes, African roots are there. African, and that's something I just want to just throw out there. I remember when I first went out to Colombia, and I'm sure many of you, whomever, whether you have yet to go out there or maybe you recently went out there for the first time, whatever. When you think of Colombia, you think of the people that you see from Medellin, like a Maluma, like a Karol G, light skin. They have that Paisa accent. Everybody,
Right.
everybody thinks that's Colombia. But then when you get to the coastal region, you see Black Colombians, and it's like, wow, what's this all about? But then when you do your research, and when you just look into the history of the city, now it's like, oh wow, this was a city in a region where slavery took place, and this was a city in a region where African immigrants and well, again, slaves came from Africa, and a large part of the history comes from as far as why you see Black Colombians.
But like what I like about the coast Especially Barranquilla. Barranquilla gives me more of this feel. Cartagena has like its own unique Afro Latino like culture. But when you get to Barranquilla, right, it's just like a diversity of Latinos. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like PR. If I have to compare Barranquilla and its people, I would compare it to PR in the looks, in the physical form, because like you'll have like a girl who looks like you'll have like a white girl with red hair and freckles, right? She'll be straight from Barranquilla. You know what I'm saying? And like, damn, what's this ginger doing out here? You know what I mean? and like she'll be straight Barranquillera.
Yeah.
And then you have like the other side where straight black, nappy headed woman, beautiful, voluptuous, and you'll be like, damn, like, holy, where's this girl from? Zimbabwe? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have that, you have that mix, and then everything in between. Then you'll have like your Asian looking girl, like straight from Barranquilla, looks like she's from Wuhan, looks like she straight brought the Wuhan flu into the States. You know what I mean? Like straight Chinese looking broad, Barranquillera. Then you have like your Dominican looking like chick. You'd be like, yeah, damn, this girl looks Dominican. She looks like she's straight from DR. Nah, she don't got that plastic surgery. She's got those natural curves, man. Like straight from Barranquilla.
The accent too. You gotta,
the Costeño accent is very, very Puerto Rican. Very Puerto Rican. I've been in places where like, damn, like, where you from Puerto Rico?
Oh yeah.
Tú eres Boricua? Like they're like, no, soy Cartagena or I'm from Barranquilla. With that said, right, you get to Barranquilla, it's nothing like Cartagena or any other place in Colombia that is servicial, like helpful. People in Barranquilla go about their day. They don't care where you're from. They don't care if you're American. They don't care if you're Chinese. They don't care. They don't give any of that. They're strictly about their day, and they will not go out of their way to help you. Not like in cities like Medellin, Cartagena. I've never been to Santa Marta, so I can't tell you. Even when you go to a restaurant, their service is bare minimum. Like they will not smile. They will not be like, "Hey, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order?
Welcome to Colombia."
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. It's just not. It's not in them. It's after 4 times in Barranquilla. I've learned to notice that. It's like people will not help you unless you ask. And that's huge. Even when, like I said, even when you go to a restaurant, your waiter does or your waitress does the bare minimum to help you.
It's very interesting as far as your take on the people of Barranquilla. But if I could just take this over for a quick minute, and just speak about the people in, I'm going to mesh this together because these cities remind me so much of each other. Santa Marta and Cartagena. I feel like the people out there are very similar. I feel like you can come across your tourists, your locals, and like I said earlier in the video, couples, because the city of Santa Marta definitely caters to the couples, as well as the vendors and just everything as a whole. I feel like in Santa Marta it's less aggressive. Cartagena definitely they push the pace more and they can ruffle your feathers more. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Venezuelans. There's a lot of Venezuelans that you will come across in the Colombian coastal threesome. Venezuelans are doing what they can to survive after tough times over the last decade in their country. So that's a group of people who you'll come across, whether it's vendors or just people who are kind of tugging at your arm saying, hey, give me this, give me that. So hi, everybody. This is the part of the check-in sessions, as I've done in the past, where I like to do the closing thoughts. And it's just basically, it can be whatever you want. It can be just looking back on the city, looking back on moments and memories. So Alex, I just want to ask you, man, closing thoughts. right here, right now. Checked in sessions, August 2023. Take the floor.
Closing thoughts. Let's see. I want to grow old. It's inevitable. We all go through it, but I want to grow old and I want to retire in Colombia. I want to live in the coastal 3 plus Medellin. I want my house, my retirement home on the coast of Colombia, Cartagena. I want my retirement home in Barranquilla, in the city. In el norte, I want my home in Medellin. You know, Santa Marta, I've never visited, so I can't, apply that to this. But that's it. That's my closing thoughts, man. I want to retire. I want to grow old. I want 4 girlfriends. I want to Big Chris. Shout out to Big Chris, man. I can't emphasize that anymore, man. But that's what I want, man. That's my future right now. You know what I mean? That's my goal. That's my vision, and that's it, man. That's my closing thoughts, man. Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Well put. Well put, man. Cheers. Put it there. I'll drink to that. Ladies and gentlemen, after a 6-month hiatus, the checked-in sessions. I'm sorry, I had one too many alcoholic adult beverages. Ladies and gentlemen, the checked-in sessions after a 6-month hiatus made its return to Boston, Massachusetts, to the YouTube channel, the John the Tourist channel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this checked-in session.